So welcome back, and we are now going to try and have a look at all those triangles that we asked you to kind of try and create. Okay, so the first thing we can do is we can get a triangle that looks like this. All right, it's going to fit in there. I'm just going to try and draw that again so we don't have arrows on the end of our line. It's going to fit in there like that. Okay, one more time. Okay, we're not really winning here, are we? Okay, like that. There we go. This one would, and I can't fit them in here, so I'm just going to write it. They would be, remember they're multiples of 20, so 20, 20, and 140. What sort of triangle is that? It's isosceles. Right, let's see if we can create a different one. What if we go from here, here, and here? Remembering that these are all multiples of 20. Okay, some arrows on the end there. Anyway, this one looks like it's going to be 20, 40, that's 60 so far, and 120. All right, it's obtuse, and it is scalene. All right, what about this one? We're going to go from here to there. Okay, we're going to go from here to here, and we're going to join those up. Not very nicely joined up, and join those up. All right, this one is looking like 20, 60, and 100. All right, it's obtuse, and it is scalene. All right, what about this one? 20, 80, and 80. We can make a 20, 80, and 80 if we join across here. I have to do that again. And across here. And there. Okay, try that one more time. So this is 80, 80, and 20. It's isosceles. And it's acute angled. Okay, we can make one where we go here, here, and here. All right, remember they're all multiples of 20. This looks about 40, 40, and in fact 100. This is an isosceles and it's obtuse. All right, then we can make a 40, 60, 80. All right, and the way we make a 40, 60, 80 is to leave out 2 dots on that side there. Okay, I'll try and draw that again, sorry. Like that. To there, go there, and then join that up. All right, so 80, 40, and 60. And this is it's not isosceles, in fact it's scalene, and it's acute. And then the last one, can we make an equilateral triangle? And we can, all right? If we go straight from here to there, straight from here to there, and straight from here to there, each of these angles would be 60, and this would be acute and equilateral. Okay, right. We're going to now ask that we try some questions, all right? And this just asks us to find the sizes of the missing angles, giving reasons. Right, so we've got equal sides. And remember that angles that are opposite equal sides must be equal. So angle A would be 78 degrees. And the reason is angles opposite equal sides. Okay? What do we know about 78 plus C? We know that 78 plus 78 plus C must equal 180 degrees. What's our reason for that? That's angles of triangle. Okay? And now 78 plus 78 is 156. And the supplement of 156, in other words, if we subtract 156 from both sides, we get 24 degrees. Okay, we're going to ask you to pause the video and try the next two questions. Make sure you're giving reasons. Okay, so in this one, we've got angles that are equal. So the length of side D must be 8 centimeters. And the reason it's 8 centimeters, these are sides opposite equal angles. I want you to look very carefully at the difference between question 1, this one, and question 2, this one. Here we were told that the sides were equal, and we could conclude that the angles opposite them were equal. Angles opposite equal sides. Here we were told that the angles are equal, and we could conclude that the sides opposite them are equal. So sides opposite equal angles. Right, now, how are we going to work out angle E? Well, we know that E plus 47 plus 47, I'm actually going to be a bit lazy and write 2 lots of 47, there's nothing wrong with that, must be 180 degrees. 2 lots of 47 is 94. So if we subtract 94 from both sides, E must be 86 degrees. Okay, this last one, okay, we can get angle F first, all right, because we know that F plus 2 lots of 60 must be 180 degrees. The reason, angles of triangle. So now we know that F is equal to 60 degrees as well. So what sort of triangle have we got? We've got an isosceles triangle. Nonsense. We've got an equilateral triangle. Right. Now, but what we see, if this is 60, this side is opposite a 60-degree angle, and this side's also opposite a 60-degree angle. So G will be 11 centimeters, and the reason is sides opposite equal angles. Okay, right. We're going to ask you to pause and try this this question over here, or these three rather, where we're asking you to find missing pieces. Try and give all the reasons that you need and show all your working. Okay, so what can we deduce first? Well, we know that angle C must be x. And the reason angle C is x is that this is an angle opposite sides that are equal. All right, so what we're going to write is we're going to write angles opposite equal sides. All right, now we can make an equation because we know that 3x plus 5 degrees plus x is 180 degrees. Why can we do that? Because we are using angles of triangle. All right, so 3x and x is 5x plus 5 degrees is 180 degrees. We're going to subtract 5 from both sides and we get 5x is 175 degrees. Right, when we divide both sides by 5, we get x is 35 degrees. Okay, this next one, we can first, it's very similar, we can first work out angle F. Angle F must be 2x plus 10 degrees. All right, and the reason for that is that this angle and this angle are opposite equal sides. So angles opposite equal sides. So I shouldn't have an apostrophe there. Angles op equal sides. Right. So now we can make an equation because we know that 2x plus 10 doubled, okay, and I'm going to do that just because I want us to practice our distributive law. 2 lots of 2x plus 10 plus 35 is 180 degrees. What's the reason for this? Angles of triangle. Okay, right. When we distribute this 2 into this bracket, it must multiply by both terms. So we get 4x plus 20 degrees plus 35 degrees is 180 degrees. This is 55 on this side. If we subtract 55 from both sides, we're going to get 125 degrees over here. And our final answer is 125 over 4. Right, it actually is, it's 60, in fact it's 61,25 degrees. It's 61.25 degrees. Okay, you can use a calculator to do that, but you can also just leave it as 125 over 4. The really big idea, we must include the reasons. Now this next one's interesting because we hope that you know something about circles. And in fact, if you draw a line from the center of a circle to the edge, it will always be the same length. These lines are what we call radiuses or radii. Okay, so let's write that down. We know that OG equals OH, and that is because they are radii. That's the plural of radius, 1 radius, 2 radii. Okay, we're going to talk more about that next term, but you should know that. Okay, now, so therefore angle H must be equal to x as well. It must also be equal to x, and the reason for that is angles opposite equal sides. Because these are both opposite sides that are equal, they must be equal. Now we can make an equation because we know that 86 plus an x must be 180 degrees. Okay, and our reason for that is angles of triangle. Sorry, it shouldn't be an apostrophe there. Angles of triangle. So in fact, 86 or 2x plus 86 is 180 degrees. Let's subtract 86 from both sides, and we actually get 94 degrees. Let's divide both sides by 2, and we get 47 degrees. Okay. All right. We are going to ask you to try the rest of the ones on this page. We're going to ask you to pause the video and try them, and then we'll go over them quickly. Okay, so this first one, the first thing we can conclude is that angle C equals angle X. Our reason is angles opposite equal sides. The next thing we're going to say is that x plus 102 plus x must be 180 degrees, and the reason for that is angles of triangle. So now 2x, let's subtract 102 from both sides and we get 2x is 78 degrees. Let's divide both sides by 2 and we get x is 39 degrees. Okay, this one over here. This angle over here must be 64 degrees. The reason being it's opposite equal sides. So angle C is 64 degrees. Angles opposite equal sides. Okay, it is what we call an isosceles triangle. Right, now let's add up all the angles and make an equation. 2x plus 20 plus 64 plus another 64 must come to 180 degrees. What factor have we used there? We've used angles of triangle. Okay, we've got 128, we've got 148. Let's subtract 148 from both sides and we get that 2x is 32 degrees. And the last thing we're going to do is we're going to divide both sides by 2 and we get x equals 16 degrees. Okay, right, this one over here, well, actually, these other angles are x, all right? And the reason I can fill in these other angles being x, okay, in fact, I'm going to write here all angles equal x. The reason is that angles opposite equal sides. Angles opposite equal sides. So we now know x plus x plus x, 3x is 180 degrees. That's angles of triangle. All right, and if we divide both sides by 3, we get x is 60 degrees. Okay. Right, this one over here, the first thing that we can work out is that angle B must equal M. Right, so angle B is M. Why is angle B equal to M? Because we've got angles opposite equal sides. Okay, so now what we know is that 66 degrees is M plus M. What fact have I used there? I've used the fact that 66 is outside. It's an exterior angle of triangle. Ext angle of triangle. And notice, if I know how to solve equations, this becomes easy because I've got 66 is equal to 2m. How do we get m? How do we undo timesing by 2? Divide by 2 on which side? On both sides. M is 33 degrees. It's fine to write 33 equals m. We can also write m equals 33. Okay, we're going to stop there. Before the next lesson, we want you to try the questions on the next 4, 5, 6 pages. Okay, right. And we will go over them next time. We look forward to seeing you then. Have a great day, everyone. God bless you all.